Good morning, seventh graders. Happy Friday. Um, I don't know about you, but this cold is just not my thing, and it's been harder to get motivated in the morning when it's cold like this. And I know when the sun comes out, it's definitely. I'm ready for some sun and some warm weather, and I notice at night, it's getting lighter in the evening. So good things are coming, but this cold, not having it. So I hope you have a good weekend. I do know it's supposed to warm up next week, at least get into the 30s. So that's a bonus compared to the single digit temperatures we've had. So I hope you enjoy your weekend and look forward to that a little bit warmer weather next week. So what's on tap for today, for Friday? We're going to start with a warm up. I'm going to give you a couple problems here. I'm going to show you, and you're going to do it on line paper. And I prefer if you just, with the work that we're doing, the two-step work that we're doing, and any equation work that you've done with Mr. Cheney, just continue with that, right? Like just keep going on that same line sheet, or have it all together at least on a couple sheets within a notebook that you're using, or lined paper, something so it's all together for you so you can go back to it in the same spot. And then once you go through the warm up, we're going to start to do some two steps today with negatives. I'm going to start to bring some of those in, and we'll practice two steps with those integer rules. And I have the same list of supplies there, line paper, pencil, highlighter. If that's helping you, we'll do a couple more problems today where you just need to make sure you know where the variable is. And so I highlight that variable, and I try to make sure you see where it is, so you know where to start the problem at. And then you'll practice some problems again, just like yesterday, and have an answer key to check your work. A couple of reminders. Time remaining, double check and make sure your one-step equation quick check in Schoology, that it's complete, that you've attempted that as many times as possible to get that 100% on that. And again, just making sure that you're doing everything you can on those quick checks and the other assignments where you're able to do those retakes and get to those 100%. And then you can work on some ALEKS that is due on Sunday. Next week, so I'm just looking at the coming up next week, we're going to take a two-step equation quick check on Tuesday. So basically on Monday when we come back, we'll do some review with all the two steps, and we'll either use quizzes, maybe BuzzMath. We'll do something where you're practicing virtually or with some technology. And then we'll do the two-step quick check on Tuesday. Wednesday would be an ALEKS day. And then Thursday and Friday next week, we'll get ready actually to take the practice test, your study guide, and the equations test. And so everything for Chapter 6 will wrap up by next Friday. So here's the warm-up. I'm going to bring that up right now for you. And on your line paper, answer these two questions for me, please. Who started to solve the equation correctly, Jeremy or Julie? Explain with math reasoning. So what I'm asking you to do is definitely tell me who's starting to solve the equation correct, and then why. Like, what math reasoning have we been talking about as to how you solve one-step or two-step equations? So be able to explain that. And then number two, which property is shown in the first step of solving this problem? So we've talked about properties since last week. So are you seeing the addition property of equality, subtraction property of equality, and so on? So those two, pause the video, answer those on your line paper. I'll meet you back here when you're ready, and we'll go over the answer on these. Okay, so let's take a look. Number one, if I think about what we talked about yesterday, with making sure you know that you have to isolate the variable, and then once you isolate the variable, you find it, right? So the n, and then you look at what's being added or subtracted to the problem. That's what you want to get rid of first. So if I look at Jeremy, it's 2n minus 5, right? So this minus 5 here is really what we're trying to get rid of. So underneath, Jeremy put minus 10. He's subtracting 10 away. Now remember, we need to get 0 here. This needs to be gone and eliminated. And Jeremy's unfortunately not getting rid of the 5. He's taking the 10 on the other side of the equation and using that to subtract it away. Well, that doesn't help, right? If I go to Julie, right, the subtracting 5 here, she is adding 5. She's using that addition property of equality to get rid of it. So here, right, we can cross it out, and this would be 0 here. And then, yeah, it's balanced over here on the other side of the equation. So the adding 5 on both sides is correct. And to finish this first step out, this would give us 15. So Julie, right here, is solving the equation, starting to solve the equation correctly. And the math reasoning is she's using that addition property of equality to eliminate and isolate that variable, get n all by itself. Number 2, which property is shown in the first step of solving the problem? Well, we have 3n plus 4 equals 16. And so underneath that, you're getting rid of what's added to n, which is this plus 4. So to get rid of it, doing the opposite of that is to subtract 4. And then that is considered your subtraction property of equality. Oops. So that takes care of your 2 warm-up questions. And we're going to start to head into the lesson today. So you can continue with the same sheet of paper that you're currently using. We'll start some practice problems with negatives. So on the next video on the agenda is where we will do that. So I will meet you back at that next video.